Creations. This is episode 102, and I had the air conditioning running in the background because it's kind of muggy. It's not hot outside, but it's rainy and icky, and it's just a little humid upstairs. So I've got the air conditioning running. So I hope the background noise doesn't get too annoying for everybody, but it will keep me from melting. Although maybe that would be good. Maybe I could be thinner that way, but it hasn't worked out so far. So let's get started. First off, we do have our winner from last week from the giveaway from our vacation. She did come forward, and by the time you're viewing this, Sandra should have received her yarn. So I hope she's enjoyed it. We have one other giveaway running right now, and that is for the fall along. And if you have made a fiber or fabric related craft between September 1st and November 30th, it is eligible. You can enter it in the Ravelry group page, which is down below, or you can send me a picture at KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com. If you put it on the Facebook page, just make sure you say it's for the fall along so that I know to grab that picture and include it in the entries. So that again is running until November 30th. It does not have to be fall color related. And the prize for that is going to be some West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. And there is the colorway. I don't think it has a color. I think it just has a number. Yeah, it just has a number. It's a 100-gram ball, and it is Aran weight yarn. So it says it's Aran weight, but to be honest, Aran weight's usually slightly heavier than worsted. To me, this is more a worsted or even a light worsted weight. Just putting it on my finger, it's fairly light, as you can see. But it's kind of fall colors, but it's got some other shades mixed into it too. So that will be the prize. So we have a lot of entries so far, to the point that when we show all of the pictures of everybody's creations, I'm actually going to do it as a bonus video because it would take up quite a bit of time during a regular episode. So you guys are amazing. I've been watching the chatter threads, and you guys are complimenting each other on your projects. I'm seeing that over on the Facebook page, and that's what it's all about, is admiring each other's work and enjoying it. And so it's been a lot of fun, and we have lots and lots of entries at this point. A little note about Facebook, just to make you aware. If you would like to join our Facebook, you can. You can click the link down below, and it is Katrina Knits. And you have to just send me a friend request. I am reviewing your page before I allow people to join, because I had a little red flag pop up. I had a group of men want to join the group, and not to say there aren't male crocheters and knitters, because there are, and there are some that watch this channel, but it's not normal to have 5 or 6 requests in one day from men. And when I went on and looked at their Facebook pages, they weren't into crocheting and knitting. We'll just say it that way. It was not family friendly. So at that point, I don't want things put onto the Facebook page that are not family friendly or not just inappropriate, that we really don't need to see. So I am being a little more scrutinizing over friend requests. So if you do put a friend request in, you know, just be aware that it might take a day or two, because I do want to make sure that I'm not going to have like lots of things show up that I really don't want to have on there. So anyway, that being said, let's get started. I have no finished objects because I have a mass of works in progress. So let me show those to you. I counted them. I think I have 5 or 6 things going at one time. My first one is it's a Craftsy kit. It is for the Playdaptation poncho. Here's what it looks like. This is not the color I'm doing it in. but that was one of the colors that was offered. So that's what it looks like. The one I am doing it in is a rust color, and it's knit in two pieces, and then you join them together. So I'm still on the first piece, but here it is. So you can see my stitch marker right here. That's where I left off last week. So I've knit up through this section. So I think I figured it out. I'm at like 18 inches. So I have like 5 or 6 inches more to go for this piece, and then I have to knit a duplicate of this. So that is item number 1. And this yarn it's called Sprightly, and it is for sale through Craftsy as well. It is 100% acrylic, and it's a worsted weight. And it knits up really, really nice. It's not like some of your like bargain bin type of acrylics. This seems to have a real nice, it's very soft, and it's knitting up very even. So I'm real happy with it. So that is item number 1. Next we have the design shawl that I am working on, and I did most of another section this week. This is a shawl. It will be available on Ravelry eventually, and it is narrow on one side, and it has a main color, which is the tan, and then a different color of brown going up, and I'm going to knit a second one in blue. So it starts narrow, and then it gets to the wider section, which is here. There it is. And each of the different colors of brown has a different texture in it. So the first one is here, and the second one is more of a basket weave, and then when we get up to this one, it is a definite basket weave. And I even have a name picked out, which I'm not going to share yet, but I do have a name picked out based on the texture and the shape. So I think it'll be kind of a fun play on words. And I am knitting this yarn with a mixture of Craftsy. This is Craftsy Cloudborn, and the different shades of brown are Knit Picks palette yarn, which is, it's all 100% wool. But it's not a rough wool, it's a soft wool. I'm going to do all of my knitting projects first, and then I'll do the crochet projects, because the two crochet projects are kind of tied together. So the next thing I'm making, it's called the Whitehorn Shawl, and here it is. It is a pattern from Interweave Knits, and this particular magazine, I think it comes out quarterly, maybe quarterly. Yeah, because this is the summer edition for 2018. It's all Southwest themed, so everything in here has kind of Southwest colors or Southwest designs. So, and the pattern has a unique kind of, you can see the wave here. It's created sort of by using the fans and feathers, or feathers and fans pattern to do just this kind of little notch, and that's in the center of the shawl. So I'm doing mine in gray, charcoal, and black because I wanted something fairly neutral. And I'm coming down the home stretch. I'm getting there. It's not a real deep shawl, but it's a long shawl because I'm over 200 stitches going across now. And you knit it from the top down, so I'm actually going to hold it upside down. So here is the top, and then you can see that notch, and this right here is called a Latvian braid, and here's where I left off last week. So I really haven't done too much. I took it with me to knit night the other night, and that's pretty much all I worked on it. So I just got about 1 inch of it done. And I'm thinking of doing a tutorial on this Latvian braid because apparently that's pretty popular right now. It's actually very, very easy to do. It looks more difficult than what it is. So I might do a tutorial on that. I have one more of those to make because this section that I'm on right here is the same as here. So I have just this little piece in between here, and then I get into the next lap band braid. So it depends, but I'm not sure yet, but I might film when I do that as a tutorial. Just because it's kind of neat looking and it's fancy looking and it's actually very, very simple. So it's all in twisting the yarn in the back of your work, which in this case becomes the front of your work. So that being said, I have that project going on, and that is also all being knit in that sprightly yarn from Craftsy. I think it runs $3.19 a ball, something like that. It's somewhere in that ballpark. Now we're going to get to my crochet. Those of you who crochet, you know, last week I told you about my vacation dilemma with my crochet and my 8-star blanket and the mess up. I did it again. Okay, you know that I have been knitting a poncho. I mean, not knitting, crocheting a poncho based on the Tego pattern, which I'm also making right now, and I will show you in a minute. So I had this much done, and I had the second piece because I'm knitting them consecutively at the same time because I don't know how far the oatmeal color yarn will go. So I want to make sure that the poncho ends up even. So I knit like one section of one, and then I switch and I crochet. I keep saying knitting. I crochet one section of one, and then I crochet a section of the other piece so I can keep them even. Well, I hadn't worked on this for a while, and as you'll see, I've made no progress whatsoever. It wasn't for lack of trying. I have crocheted and ripped it out 2 or 3 times this week. I had a meeting on Monday. Actually, I had back-to-back meetings at work on Monday, so I took this along. And I'm crocheting away because it's been a couple weeks because I didn't take this with me on vacation. And I'm crocheting away, and I got an entire section done of the oatmeal color right here. And I'm looking at it during the second meeting, which is in the afternoon at this point, and looking at all the work I did and going, something doesn't look right. This doesn't look right at all. And my coworker, who is a crocheter, is looking over at it too. And afterwards, I was like, it doesn't look right. She's like, it almost looks like you're using the wrong size needle or hook. And so I thought, did I grab the wrong size hook? So I go home, I rip it all out, I get the next size hook, I start working on it, looking at it again and going, this still doesn't look right. Then I realized, I thought, I'll look back at the video, the last video where I showed this, and sure enough, in the background, I'm holding up the crochet hook. So I was able to match the color of the crochet hook and remember what size crochet hook I was using. I was using the right size. That wasn't the problem. Then I started looking a little closer at what I had done before and realized I was doing single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, when the pattern is single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain. So my poncho was all bunched up and gathered at the bottom because I instantly decreased it by leaving out half of the stitches. So yeah, I am a new crocheter, and I made a new crocheter error there. So even though it looks like I've made no progress whatsoever, it wasn't for lack of trying. I will start again. Now that I know what I'm doing and the mistake I made, I'll be ready to get started again because I really am enjoying this. I love the single crochet, and I love the colors that this is turning into. So I'm really, really pleased with it. Yeah, so now now that I've figured out what was going on and what the problem was, I can get back on track here and work on it. So that's the one crochet project, and this is the correct crochet hook, not this one. So this one is a 4.5, and when I thought that it was too small, I went up to this one, which was a 5.5. I don't know where the 5 millimeter is. It might be on my Tega shawl right now. We'll check. So that's my next crochet project. So let me get that one out. Okay, this is the Tega shawl. It is by Miju Crochet, which is also Johanna Lindahl. There it is. And that's what the shawl looks like. It is mostly single crochet, and it's a free pattern. Every, I think it's 7 rows, you do a row of double crochet, and then it has this kind of fancy edging to it when it's done. So, and this is the one that I had to wait till I got more yarn because I had run out of it. Is this my 5? This is my 5. There's my 5. So, and this is going immediately into the bag here, so I don't start crocheting with the wrong size hook again. So let me show you how far I have gotten. I lost my stitch marker. This was my stitch marker that had the little piece of pizza. I have it. I found it, thankfully, but I have to reattach it. Here you can see where it was. See, there's the little hook that the pizza piece was screwed into, but I didn't get very far on it. I was doing this in the car the other day, so I crocheted from here down, so about an inch. So let me hold this up so you can see what the whole thing looks like so far. There it is. And I am crocheting this with Plymouth Yarns Hotcakes, and this is the denim colorway. And then the last project that I have going on is another knit project right now, and this is for the Janine McCarty, who is the Yarn and You Girl podcast, and she designed this sweater. It's like it's a pullover, but you wear it over top of another, like over top of a turtleneck or something like that. So it's kind of an over sweater, and it is called the Cooper Spur sweater. And here it is so far. I'll hold it back here. The maroon that I am using is a mill end that I got at Peter Patch's up in Cranston, Rhode Island. So I have a great big cone of that, and it's fingering weight. And then this forms, it's an X pattern. Let's see if I can get this close enough for you to see it. It forms a crisscross. It kind of reminds me of broomstick lace in a way. And I'm using with that this yarn here, which is Got Fiber. Oh, there. Which is Got Fiber, and it is from Twin Mommy Creations. She has an Etsy shop, and the colorway is Arid Luminescence, and this is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And this was in a Knit Crate box. It's been a few months ago, but it almost reminds me of rose gold. But it's got the same, it's got like a lighter raspberry cranberry color. My fluorescent lighting in here kind of throws it off a little bit, but I think it goes well with this. So, yeah. And this is the other side. So that is the sweater that I'm actually doing this as a test knit, so that pattern is not available yet. So there's several of us that are test knitting it in different sizes, and I'm doing it in the largest size. Yeah. Anyway, so that is the last project that I'm working on for my works in progress. Now, I did want to mention we have a couple of viewers here on the podcast that actually have podcasts themselves. Now, I have mentioned some of them before. There is Setta's Place. There is Cindy Hart's Crochet. And there is Yarn Addict, aka Kalo. However, some other viewers have let me know that they also have podcasts, so I wanted to share those with you. One of them is Tabitha's Treasures. One of them is called Shushi, and she also does drawing. She does some very artistic, really intricate drawing works. and the other is Homemade with Love by Loretta and Blaine. So I will have scrolled their names down below here as I was mentioning them. So go check out their podcasts, and yeah. So y'all are very creative. So we've got a bunch of us. Now there's not going to be a show and tell part this week, simply because most everything that people are showing at this point are things that are going to go in the fall along, which I would like to just be able to show as one big bunch, because trying to keep up with all of it that's coming in is getting a little difficult. So I'm going to do it just as one single episode when we finish. Now we have acquisitions. I did a little shopping this week, and I got some stuff for free. It is really cool. Just wait till you see this. Okay, here we go with the acquisitions. First, I'm going to show you what I bought. I had been interested in checking out Hobium Yarns for a while, and if you watched my video, I did a review of Hobium Yarns. It went up on Wednesday. And because I'm an affiliate for them, I wanted to check out to make sure that the quality was as good as what I had heard. And it is. I would highly recommend them. You can watch that video. I'll put a card up here so you can check it out. But the two yarns that I bought, and I have 5 skeins of each of these colors. I bought a purple, which is looking blue in the colors, but it is purple. In the review, I filmed it downstairs in my kitchen, so the lighting is a little bit different. The fluorescent lights that I have for when I film kind of throw the colors off a little bit. And although this one is pretty close, it's an antique gold. They call it brown. It's antique gold. If you were a kid in the 70s, you know what I'm talking about. It's antique gold. And this is a really pretty purple. Now let me show you what I'm going to put them with. By the way, I bought these in the clearance section, and they came in a bundle of 5 skeins, and I paid $9 and got 5 skeins of yarn. Their shipping varies depending on where you live, but it's 2-day shipping. So my shipping to from Turkey to the U.S., it was $10, but I got it in 2 days. I ordered it on Sunday. They processed the order on Monday, and I got it on Wednesday. And when you add that together with what I paid for the yarn plus the discount that they gave me, I paid roughly $2.40 a skein. You can't go wrong with that. And this is 30% wool, 70% acrylic. They do also sell 100% cotton, which I've heard good reviews on. And they sell 100% wool. They sell some alpaca blends, some cashmere blends, and if those are not in the clearance section right now, those are in their main sales section. However, if you look at the skein and there's a little drop down window, you can purchase more than one skein, and if you purchase like in bundles of 5 or 10, the price per skein drops. So just to keep that in mind. And when they sent my yarn, they sent a 15% discount for my next order. So not only did they send this, they sent a little cardboard pom-pom maker, and they sent a little label to sew into like a sweater that says handmade, and they also sent a little sticker that says #Hobium. So anyway, this is what I got, and here's what I'm going to look at putting it with. And this yarn has this color right in here. It's pretty close, you can see. So between 5 skeins of this and 2 skeins of this, I will have a sweater's quantity that I can put together. So this is yarn I bought at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, and I fell in love with it because I like the teals and the golds and the browns together. They're just colors I never would have put together, but I love them, so I wanted to do something other than a shawl because I have lots of shawls, so I decided let's combine things and make sweater quantities. So that's item number 1. Then the purple yarn, which again is showing up blue. I have lots of things that are purple, so these are just some ideas. These 3 yarns are going together at this point. But I might add this in. It doesn't look like it goes with it, but when you put it, especially with this color yarn, which is really not blue, there's blues in it, but there's also purple. This is purple right here. When you put it together with this, it doesn't look bad at all. So it's one thought. It also goes nice with this individually because this is a yarn I got from Knit Crate a couple months ago. I have 2 skeins of this, and it is purple with little purple flecks, and the purple flecks are the color purple here. So the purple yarn I have to look through because I do have some other yarns I could possibly put this with. These are the ones that I thought of right off the top of my head, but I'm not sure because there is a little bit of a difference. So not sure if this one's going with these or not because it's not quite the same. It's close, but not quite. So we shall see with that. Now let me get on to the freebies that I got this week. I work for a library, and they have a deal with one of the Joann fabric stores that Joann's gives to the library a lot of things that are seasonal that didn't sell, stuff like that, and or just items that didn't sell, and then the library can use them. However, some of the stuff that they send, the library can't use because there might just be one of it and they need it for a program and they need more than one item, or it just might be something that they don't think they can use. So then they just pass it along. But if there's something that we can use, then we can use it. You know, I mean, library of course gets first dibs. So anyway, there was one skein, and this was sitting on my desk when I came back from vacation. Bernat baby bundle. Now you can see it's been loved a little bit, but it's brand new. And this is a unique yarn. I mean, it's super chunky. You can see it's super chunky, but it has different textures. Like this is regular, this is a boucle, so it's kind of got a waviness in it. And then this is really soft, but it's almost like a terry, shredded terry. So between all 3 of those textures, it kind of knits up a very textured blanket. And there are, let me see. It recommends a US size 11 knitting needle on it. And I believe there are, it's 53% acrylic, 47% polyester. There is 207 yards in this. So there it is. I do have a scarf that's out of these same colors. However, it's a different thickness of yarn, so it would more, it's a chunky, but it's not a super chunky. I'll have to check it out, but it's the same basic colors. And it's funny, I look at this is almost a lot of the same colors that are going into my Tega shawl with the tans and the denim colors. So I don't know what this is going to become. It might simply become a little blankie for the dog because she likes fuzzy things. She especially loves knitted or crochet items. We used to have these pillows that I didn't crochet them, I knit them. And the dog, that's where she sat. She considered it her personal dog bed. I finally had to throw them out because she had them so nappy looking because she would get on top of them and kind of scratch around. So this might be a puppy blanket. We'll see. So that was item number 1 that I got for free. These were also sitting on my desk. These are Susan Bates. They are sock sets. They're double pointed needles. And I have double pointed needles, but I have 4-inch double pointed needles. These look to be about 8-inch double pointed needles. And there are 4 different sizes in here. So there is a 000, 00, 0, and a 1 in the US. In millimeter sizes, there's a 1.5, 1.75, 2.0, and 2.25. So there are, and they are 5-piece sets. Sometimes double pointed needles are in sets of 4. This one is sets of 5, and there are 4 different sizes. So there's 20 double pointed needles here, and they're metal. The ones I have are bamboo. So that was pretty cool. And here's the most exciting one. Now this was in a thing a while back, and my boss just found them again. It's an interchangeable needle set. Yes. These are the Takumi or Takumi. They are sold by Clover. There are several duplicates in here, but these are bamboo. They have a 10 millimeter, which is a number 15 in US size. They have a 10.5, which is also 6.5, an 11, which is an 8 millimeter. They have, let's see, here's another US 8, which is a 5 millimeter, a number 13, which is a 9 millimeter. Some of these are duplicates, like here's another 5, another 9, another 10. Here's a 6 or a 4 millimeter. So they're all your kind of average needles, which are ones that I use all the time. In fact, a good bit of my knitting, I'm usually scrounging around to find extra size 4, 5, or 6s, because most of your fingering weight items are done with those sizes. So altogether, like I said, some of these are duplicates, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Altogether, there are 16 sets of the needles. Now the needles, if you look close, I'll show this one. They have a screw on the end, right here. The screw goes into cables. There's cables here too. And she said there's more cables, she just has to find them. There's a whole bunch of different lengths. So here we have 3 different length cables. We have a 29-inch, a 16-inch, and a 24-inch. And you'll see with the cables, they have a little, you can see it here in the corner. Here you go, you can see this one better. Right here, you can see the joins. These ends screw into the ends here. So if you're knitting something, you can change, you know, you can have a cable this long, you can have a cable this long. You could do socks and not have to change, you just switch the cable out. So it gives you a little bit of versatility. I don't have any interchangeable needle sets, but I do now. So I thought that was exciting. So, and like I said, I got those for free because nobody else knits. Now the interesting thing is my library actually does loan out knitting needles. You can check them out just like you can for a book, but they have a complete set at this point, so they don't need these. I don't know how often people check out the knitting needles, but it's an interesting concept because that way you don't have to buy a set of knitting needles. You can just go to the library and check out the size that you need and then return it when you're done your project. But they already have stuff, so they don't need any of these sets. So they came to live in my house. So that was exciting. Now it's time for, now come and get it this week. We have Annie's craft shop is doing their Christmas magazine has just come out, and it includes full-sized patterns. So all of the links to the sales that I'm going to talk about are down below. If you just look in the little box right below the video, it'll say show more. Click the little show more and then just keep scrolling down and you will see all of these, as well as my Ravelry page. You can click on that. It'll take you right to the Ravelry page. The Facebook page is there. My patterns page is there. And anything I have for sale is there. So anyway, Annie's is there. She has her Christmas magazine. It is a crochet magazine, I believe. I don't think it's any knitting. I think it's all crochet. Craftsy has 30% off of their supplies. Hobium Yarn I've already talked about, so I'm not going to say too much more about that, except that the link is down below if you want to go over and check them out. Knit Picks is running 25% off of their DPN sock needles, which are DPNs, which stands for double pointed needles. You use them for knitting small circular things like socks and mittens and stuff. So all of their DPN sets right now are 25% off. They also have their Mighty Stitch yarns, which come in worsted, bulky, and super bulky. They are 20% off right now. Lion Brand yarn is running 20% off of their 12 favorite fall kits. So you can get one of their 12 fall kits and get 20% off. Their October color of the month is chestnut. So if you choose from their chestnut yarns, you can get up to 60% off on those particular yarns for this month. So, and of course we have Knit Crate, which I should have a video up later this week. Knit Crate usually comes in around the 9th or 10th of the month, but they are, the company is down in Florida, and Florida just got hit with a really bad hurricane. So things have been shipped, but everything is delayed because of the hurricane going on down south. So, and if you live down there, I hope you guys are safe. We're thinking of you. So, my Knit Crate, you can get 20% off of your first box. And again, the link to that is down below as well. And I will have a review up later this week. Depending on when it comes in, I will have the review. It's scheduled to be in today. But like I said, with the hurricane, and it could be throwing a lot of shipping off. So there's no guarantees it's really going to get here until later in the week. But at some point this week, I should have a Knit Crate video, and we'll do that unboxing. And they're sending me an extra skein of yarn from their, like they usually do for their sock yarns for me to review. So both of those will be on the same video. And of course, Wednesday we have our knitting school. Last week we learned increases and decreases. This week we're going to learn another increase and decrease. It's like last week, this coming Wednesday, and the following Wednesday. It'll be 3 weeks total of increases and decreases that you can do. So I hope you join me for that. And thank you for watching. And oh, and I have one more exciting thing. Next week will be my 2-year podiversary. Be 2 years of podcasting. My first podcast was done October 22nd of 2016. So next week will be my 2-year podiversary. So we're going to do a giveaway. So make sure you tune in for that so you can get all the details on how to enter. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please do click the little red button that says subscribe. And if you click the little bell-shaped item next to it, that will give you a notification whenever I post a video. If you are a returning viewer each week, thank you so much for coming back. And I'm getting to know a lot of you because of chatting back and forth. I feel like we're just a bunch of knitting friends. So I enjoy my time with you. I look forward to it every Saturday when the video posts and you guys write things and I can talk back and forth with you. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you a couple times later this week. Thanks again. Bye, everybody.